Hello, hello. Let me just check that everything is going well because this live event has the wrong title. So let me make sure that that's correct. Let's view on YouTube real quick. The event has the wrong title. So that looks good. Let's view on Twitch real quick. That looks good. Okay. All right. This will be the first stream where we're actually going to like all three platforms. I went ahead and paid for the premium. So if you watch on Kick, if you watch on Twitch, if you watch on YouTube, if we cover somebody who's banned on one of those platforms, it should be pretty easy to start the stream everywhere and then kind of limit it down according to the content that we're doing, or go back and re-enable things if we change that direction. So that's a new thing. Also, given the title, given the whiteboard today, yeah, you know what? We'll go into all this later, of course. I went ahead and kind of dipped my toes back into the water to see how people would respond to debate reviews again, and to kind of gauge interest a little bit. And there was a lot of very nice comments, and people in particular seem really interested in, seeing more UFO stuff, or they seem really interested in finishing up the Trent Horn conversation. That's the abortion debate between the professor and Destiny. And honestly, given I've been gone so long, there's a huge backlog of stuff to go through as well. And there are kind of circumstances in my life, and here comes the part where I worry about the memes that you guys make or whatever. But you know I, I talked to a friend just before this, thank you, Vels. For the people that want this stuff and they're okay with just like paying for it, and they understand that there's a lot of like out of stream time to do it, or it can be a little bit frustrating. um I think that, if I'm down, if the body is willing and you guys are also willing, I should probably only focus on those people and not so much on like people that are critical of the idea that I would ask for money to do that, because it is work. And generally speaking, with the debate reviews where we're going line by line and where I'm like pre-watching and taking notes and all that shenanigans, you know it's a lot to do. And I think for the people that want it, I should probably just focus on those people and less on the ones like memeing me about stuff. Because something I also wanted to transition into talking about that I'll elaborate on later is, there's life circumstances right now where like costs for things kind of just like pop up, and it would be cool if I could get some funds out of streaming, give people what they're looking for, kind of meet a niche market a little bit there, and put into the world something that exists forever that will help people like contextualize conversations and stuff later. And of course I get paid for it, so I think that that is a decent equation. And as long as I keep my mental in check a little bit and stick to stuff that I'm willing to do and whatever, I should be fine. I am still applying for jobs and stuff, and that should be my main source of income. But like, for instance, today I got a phone call that apparently my dog, that's with my mom in another state, he's not doing too well. They're probably going to have to put him down next week, assuming he doesn't deteriorate more in the meantime. So I immediately was like, okay, I'll buy a flight. I'll go out there, even if it's on a credit card or whatever. And we'll get that squared away, and I'll be with my mom because she will be alone at the house. Like, my little sister's going off to college, and the dog is kind of all she had. So, her mental is a little fucked up at the moment. And if I had something going on the side that would let me, pay for stuff like that, that's awesome. And so, or like recently, in case you guys didn't hear, Las Vegas, where I live, they had a giant convention for fighting games. And it was called Evo. And I hosted my cousin and his friends over here for that in the Final Fantasy convention that happened the week before. And then Supreme came over for a little bit. We hung out. and just having some kind of fund where I can pay for that kind of stuff without worrying too much. That would be kind of nice. So yeah, Evo was cool. Evo was fun. Obviously I don't get the most out of it because I'm not an FGC guy and I don't really understand everything that's going on. But it was cool, and I got to meet some pro players that I didn't even know they were pros because I'm not in the scene. Everybody was super duper nice. At least the people that hang around Supreme, they're really really cool from the Hawaiian FGC community. And yeah, that was awesome. I got some really good conversations out of it that made me think and change stuff. I guess another interesting thing, and again, we'll rehash all these points in a bit. I'm just kind of filling time while people roll in. Is I've been working on losing weight, and again, I have like friends helping me with that, which I'm very grateful for. I'm down, I think, nearly 20 pounds already, and it's been like 2 weeks. So I hope to like steadily at some point this will plateau and maybe it'll average to like 2 pounds a week or whatever. But like, that's been nice. I've been working on that, just trying to, actually, I'll just switch over the scene so I can explain this with my face. Uh, yeah, oh, it's not as bad as it was earlier, but you know, I'm getting gray hairs and I'm getting to be older, and it's probably good that I start taking care of my health a little bit more. It, for those of you that have met me in person, one thing that I hear a lot is, "Oh, you look different off camera." And I think a lot of that has to do with my rotundness. I'm like a giant of a man. Like I'm 6 feet, but I also, when I started the weight loss thing, I was at like 310 pounds. So like I'm a big boy. Like if you meet me in person, I'm a large fella. That's why I have a dump truck, is because I'm a giant guy. And that's been fine for a long time, but it would be cool to be back to being like a fit dude, or at least, be able to keep up with people and be able to be on my feet without them hurting, and like, all the advantages that come with being a little bit thinner. So I'm working on that. Another thing that I'm working on is rage, and I think that maybe the streams will help me a little bit with that. Talking to the fighting game community people, they seem to be really good about like not freaking the fuck out when they lose or when they're doing bad or when they get cheesed on. And so when I've been playing League of Legends and stuff, I'm like trying to keep my cool and have fun and try to be upbeat a little bit and not get mad. There's been a few different things that I'm working on in the background, and maybe stream will kind of have something to do with that. Maybe I'll talk about workouts a little bit, or perhaps over time this will give me like a snapshot of how I'm doing, and it would be really cool. Like right now I'm projected to get down to 200 by like August of next year. That would be awesome. If I don't hit it, that's totally fine. I understand. um my brother in Christ, you really think interacting with people online is going to lessen the gamer rage? No, it's more of like a test, a test of my might, my metal. I am training outside of this, but this is the real test of, whether I can keep it together or not. As a matter of fact, this is one of my secret weapons, is my little candle here. Oh, it smells so nice. So when I get mad in a league game, I just I take a little bump of my candle here. Or like I have these I picked these up while we were gambling at the Luxor, and I'll just, if you hear this, it's probably me jingling around with these. I'll do that a lot. But I don't want to rage on my friends and like, be an unfun person to play with or talk to or whatever. So I'm trying to make an effort to be a little bit better about that, among other things. What magical scent can quell a league player? I've never been able to find the maker of these candles. If you look up like Lon Lon Ranch candles online, you'll find a gazillion of them. But the problem is this one has like a particular like vanilla cookie type of like home cooked scent that just smells so good. And I don't think I kept like the business card of whoever it was that made this. I think they were specifically like candle maker people, but this smelled so good. And I've just stopped lighting it because I want to make sure that I don't, lose this forever to the sands of time. So it's kind of nasty in there, but man, it just smells so good. So that is a scent that can quell leak, Blair. We're gonna have to put you in the Monster Hunter Zen gaming chamber. We'll take you on an hour-long hunt. We'll see if you can keep it together. You know what? That kind of transitions me into talking about what we're gonna be doing today. I don't know why our blackboard isn't on this. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's make you real small and put you in the corner. Hey. Yeah, we'll put it there. So today we're going to be picking some of the content that you would like to see me review or, react to or whatever. And once I think we get like a list of those things, like one of them probably would be like finish the Trent Horn conversation. And then if we finish that, I would like to go back, and this is super extra. I would like to go back and like make a YouTube edit of it to where I do like a TLDR. Maybe I would record that separately from the stream and then like cut myself up so I don't have my ums and ahs and my giant breaths to fuel my large body in there. And then, we'll have something that lives on forever that is like 15 or 20 minutes so people don't have to watch two VODs. Yeah, that'll probably be on there. I think that this XQC Ethan one seems like it would be entertaining. I haven't watched it yet. That might be another fun one. And then honestly, again, because I don't show up very much, we have like a whole year of like backlog content. Like another interesting one that I feel like a line by line would be good for, and actually two of them that's kind of in the more conspiratorial territory, is Nick Fuentes v Destiny on Fresh and Fit. I think that would be an interesting one to look at because some people thought he did poorly. And anytime Destiny does poorly, I feel like that's probably a good moment to look at it and provide some input and clarity on it. And then another one that was actually recommended to me by some of my like more conspiratorially minded friends is him versus Clint. Clint Stevens, maybe. He's like a conspiracy dude, I guess. And I guess Steven got blown out of the water or whatever. That's what I hear. I haven't watched it, so I have no fucking idea. I do think some of his engagement on Twitter didn't look like it was going very well. So that might be another good one to look at. Might be interesting. Again, a line by line might help shed light on how things are going with that. If you do the XQC one, you need to set a goal to do the worm. Why the worm? I could have Bookie weighing 200 pounds in 3 months, no cap. I don't think so, unless you starve me. That's a lot of editing. Oof. Yeah, I should be careful about what I'm saying. But I mean, I'm an idea guy. I'm just throwing the idea out there. Maybe, +1 on the worm. Interesting. Well, I'll note the worm, but maybe the worm will be like a stretch goal. What I think I'll do is, because these debate reviews take a lot of time, I think maybe I'll give you guys a few options while we cover stuff that I find to be more fun, like UFO stuff or, general react on the internet, or there's this cool like Japanese channel I kind of want to share with you guys. So I'll line up a bunch of stuff that I find to be fun. And then what I think I'll do is I'll go into my paint tool that you guys have seen me use before, and I'll draw some little bars for the different options of what we could do with prices set to them. And then whichever ones we hit, we'll queue up, and I'll just start working off stream on the notes for them. And once those are ready, we'll go live. Like I said, next week, probably had to fly out and go, spend some time with the dog before he passes away. And give my mom some support and whatever. So there would probably be a little time period there where I'm not necessarily streaming. But prior to that, and after that, I can definitely fit in some streams and kind of gauge what the commissioners, I'll call them, in the audience want to see, and just give those people the opportunity. Hey, if you want this content, here's a way to do it. This isn't a promise that I'm like back to full time for forever or whatever. If I ever say that, don't trust me. I like taking my time away. Like, part of the reason why you didn't get any streams like the last little while, it's not that I didn't want to, it's just I had people over for all these conventions and stuff, and then after the people were done being here, I had to clean the whole house. In case you didn't know, like, because my last job was very, very nice, I have a nice house, and unfortunately, you know, part of what comes with that, although I am very grateful for it, is I have to clean everything. And so there was a bunch of dishes and blankets and fucking, you know, bed sheets, and, you know, vacuuming and Febrezing there's just a gazillion things, wiping out the floors, that I have to do, you know, that I didn't really want to do while the people were here. And so now that they're gone, I had to catch up on all that. So there was a good little chunk of time where it wasn't really realistic to go live. And so that's why. It isn't necessarily that he did poorly. Nick just had too many avenues to escape through. But at that point, you shouldn't even have the debate if someone has the ability to duck and weave into the ether. I don't know how much of that is up to him, you know, choosing to do it or not. I don't know how, but yeah, I don't know, because I haven't watched it, so I can't comment on, you know, the particulars of what happened or whatever, and I'll be very careful to do that. But I'm just kind of echoing what I hear from other people, what I read in comments, what I see on the Reddit, and that's kind of you know, where I'm getting those points from. It'll make sense when you see it. Yeah, okay. I guess the worm thing will make sense if I see it, okay? And yes, I'd be starving you, but you wouldn't feel hungry ever. Okay. You got to watch the debate to understand the worm. Book just needs his Coke money. Yeah, that's definitely what I need, is my Coke money. So happy to see you back, Bookie. We've missed you. That's actually one thing I wanted to talk about. If I can find the right scene for that real quick. Hold on. I think it's just this recording one, or is it the recording one? It might just be the recording one. Yeah, this. Okay, wonderful. Let's go ahead and pop this down, and then we'll look at this one. So I asked in this video for people to put in the comments, and I did the call to action quite a bit. We made it up to here, and I think if I kind of zoom this in a little bit, we are at like 146 of 251. So we still have like an hour left of this conversation. And if the kind of tonal change at the hour mark is anything to go off of, where they kind of, in my opinion, although I don't know how whatever podcast works, we kind of transition from like Trent having controlled the whole conversation and doing, you know, a back and forth with Destiny, to like now we're reading these like donations and stuff, and it feels more like Steven steps up to the plate and starts like guiding the conversation and asking more questions of Trent. He started doing really good here. And so if that's anything to go off of, and this is all kind of the same, then I think we have more of Destiny doing well here. And this conversation is super interesting. I think Trent is like a really interesting person to listen to, even if I might not agree with the things that he says or whatever. And I think he was a good test for Destiny here. So yeah, there's still definitely a lot to go through there. But anyways, what I wanted to focus on is you know, the comments were really nice. Like the children and animals, and the you know, the consciousness discussion and aside, people liked. A lot of people liked the conversation itself, which I would definitely agree. You know, and there was a lot of support, you know, and it reminds me that like the line by line thing used to be for a non-insignificant number of people, like what they wait for to have like a final take on stuff. And it's super flattering to be in that position and whatever. And sometimes it's easy to take it for granted, but like, you know, and yeah, even without the 20-hour prep work, but like people were pretty kind in the comments, and it seems like they want this to continue. And so I think the desire is still there from people. And, you know, if our interests align and whatever, then I think I could go back to providing this, at least in the short term. We all know you get that shit fresh from Mexico, real cane sugar in a glass bottle. Good shit. Yeah, yum, yum. We do miss the sobering voice of Booksmart. Seriously, man, consider doing an audiobook for money. I don't think my voice is that nice. But yeah, so that's kind of, you know, if you were one of the if you were one of the people that commented here, thank you for that. I did read all of them. As a matter of fact, like if I go back here, I can't. you know, when I go into my YouTube studio thing, a lot of the time I'm looking at like what comments are rolling in and whatever, and try to have like a vibe check on how people are taking different stuff. Like if I go back to here and I go to where is our VODs live? Mm-mm-mm. And we go to the UFO one. You know, I think there was, yeah, there were a lot of people actually commenting on this. I prefer this type of content to anything streamer related, but I'm sure I'm in the minority. Like, I think some people enjoy this. I mean, if I enjoy something and I come on and talk about it, I think that's probably a good recipe for something that you guys will enjoy as well. So, you know, I think getting back to that would be cool, or getting back to this sort of like crazy mind map thing. Like this was kind of a fun stream setup. Hey, Jesus, what is going on here? Even I have no idea. Okay, maybe if I go back and do this again, I should probably make it a little more clear, because this looks like some schizo shit. But you know, having fun with these and doing more notes like this, I think would be a cool thing to do. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I need your guys' help though. I need us to make a little list, and I'll open up Libre so that we could do this properly. I do want to start to figure out what it is that we want to discard. Yes. Save. Exit. Why is my thing not opening? There we are. And we'll delete all this. We'll do a bit of zooming here. I'm zooming, dude. Jesus, I'm fat fingering every key here. We will put this, we'll put it at the top. We'll make it a little bit bigger here. And we'll start tracking maybe some of the things that you guys are thinking. Let me bring the point size down here, maybe down to like 20. So there's definitely the Trent Horn thing. Ooh. And I'll put finish this. The stream where you showed the Japanese police vid and other vids you like was fun. Yeah, and I have a huge playlist of them. So we could definitely do more of those. But I don't think we need to set up any kind of donation goal for those. They don't require any work. I mean, if we ever get to the XQC conversation, maybe we'll talk a bit about what I think about React content and stuff like that. But that stuff doesn't require any energy. And yeah. I also like book doing non-streamer stuff. Are there other topics you'd be interested in doing line by line or breakdowns of? Not really. Like, if I was to kind of explain a little bit, the reason why I do line by lines of debates is because debaters are very defensive animals. They're very, very defensive. They're defensive about the exact wording of what they said. They're defensive about semantics. They're defensive. They like. It seems like their brains, mine included, when I do it, comes up with all these different narratives about what happened, and sometimes we can pick up on recurring narratives. Like, I think an iconic one for Steven is like, they never answered my question. They never engaged with my hypotheticals. One for not Vels. One for Vosh would be like, when he reframes stuff and he remembers the conversation and it's definitely not correct and it's not a good like gist or summary of what actually happened there, right? Like, so we have those. We have these thematic things that people say, and the only way to disprove them is to go back and look at the black and white text of what exactly they said and look at the overall picture of when things happened and where. So if you said, oh, you know, like I hear this a lot offhandedly, like, oh man, I knew the conversation was over at this point because of these reasons, or oh, he was bad faith like from the very beginning with blah blah blah. Then we can look at the whole conversation and go, well, no, actually, I mean, for 40 minutes of the hour-long conversation, you guys were having a good back and forth, and I felt like he was really fair. Unless you can point to something in that 40 minutes that disproves that, I think after going through it line by line, this is my takeaway, right? And so that's why we do line by lines for that stuff, is because that's kind of you know, that's kind of what's almost required, like just because of the way that people fight about stuff, or the way that audience members and streamers themselves remember stuff. Like, human memory is tricky, and it's really, really shite. Or like with the Trump speech, which kind of goes outside of the debate space. The reason why that had to be a line by line is because we're literally looking at, like, where do we get close to the line of incitement? Where do we get close to an indication that maybe he knew it was going to happen? And when you need stuff like that and it's uber duper specific, then yeah, you use this tool. But it's not like a hammer that we use for every single job. Like, I wouldn't go into like some UFO video probably and do a line by line. I think that would be a little bit silly. I mean, sure. I mean, you can hammer a screw with a nail and it'll go into the wood, but that's not really like the outcome that you want. Is probably not the right tool for the job. Same with like the Japan police video. Like, that doesn't really need a line by line. And so, line by lines generally kind of only go with this type of stuff. I'll put the UFO thing on here. Because I definitely can do more of that. Let's see. Okay, so you like the Japanese police videos, so maybe I'll put... Okay. Let's see here. Book looking back at his old work and realizing it's the Charlie Day Pepe Sylvia. Yeah. But yeah, let me think. Possible topics: XQC Ethan debate. Yeah, we'll put that on here. I'll put that ahead of this one. There should be a way to ignore this, right? Yeah. And this. We'll go ahead and add to dictionary UAP. It's older, but the Destiny Milo debate was spicy. Yeah, I guess. I'll put it down here. Destiny v Milo. And then we have Destiny Shane Dawson debate. What? When did that happen? This is a very backwards way of looking something up on YouTube. Are you sure it's Shane Dawson? Oh, is this dude's name Dawson? Maybe. I don't think Shane Dawson was on here a few days ago. Are you sure it's Shane Dawson? Shane Dawson is a very specific person.
The facts are the facts. Why?
I don't think this was Shane Dawson on here. This is banned on Twitch, so I am taking a risk, but I'm not going to play it. Okay. Whoever this dude is, yeah. But Michael Sartain. Oh, do I open Twitter on this? Probably not smart. I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance. Please don't fuck me. Okay. Michael Sartain. I don't think this is the guy. Well, maybe. Michael Sartain one. Theater geek. Is probably not the right person. Is his name not Shane? Ryan Dawson. Oh, it's Ryan Dawson. Okay, okay. Let's look that up. Ryan Dawson. YouTube blanket banned him. Rip. Okay, so I guess I'll write Ryan Dawson. One sec. Let me... Okay, so this was the fresh and fit thing. So fresh and fit debate 911 Ryan Dawson versus Destiny versus Michael Sartain. Okay. Why is his only 40 something minutes? Okay, but we'll put that on here. Let's see. Timmy saving the day. Yeah. Destiny v Shane Doss would be hilarious. Now I'm sad thinking how it'll never happen. I mean, never say never, Timmy. If you do the Ryan Dawson debate, it involves Ukraine, and you could ask Claire to prep you a bit. Interesting. Okay. So this is probably gonna need prep, and I ain't talking unprotected homosexual sex. So this is gonna need a lot of prep. Okay. I mean, that's good to keep in mind, because if I end up letting you guys pick this option, I probably need to account for that I'm going to need to probably pre-watch it, definitely, and probably talk to people for background. So I'll keep that noted. I don't have to do that for this. Actually, let me see if I could show you guys real quick. And this will show you that, like, even when I'm not streaming, like, I do unironically use a lot of what I try to impart on you guys about notes and stuff. Like here, when I was watching Steven talk about the React thing, and it seems like he really doesn't care a lot about it, and he thinks it's not important and whatever. I actually do. I actually care about this, and I think it's really interesting. And like, I've loved following like Hello Internet's progress on this, and CGP Gray's like, thought process on this, and the way that they kind of come together. So like, I went through a couple, or I guess 3 old episodes of this, and I started prepping some stuff on this, and making a basic stream thing where like we would go from here to here to here, and here's some questions that I have. So I did start prepping this, but again, I had guests over, so I didn't really feel comfortable going live and doing the whole song and dance and yelling in my room while they were here. So I didn't end up covering this, but I think I did this like the day that I saw this come out on YouTube. So that's kind of prepped. Supreme's channel has a video up where he just goes over the entire Euro Maiden Wikipedia article. If you'd rather listen than read, probably don't need that in depth though for Dawson. Interesting. I mean, maybe you said it's on his YouTube channel, or is that like a oh, this might have been one that you edited, huh? What do I have to look up to get it? Let me see if I can quickly find it. What's up, Yentor? I don't. Is it this? NATO history, what you need to know to debunk Russian propaganda? Maybe. Oh, Euromaiden. Okay. You need to know this to understand what's happening in Ukraine. Easy ad to watch later. I'll find it for you. I found it. I'm a great Googler. And maybe I'll also watch this. I'm glad they're not like multi-hour long things. Although I don't remember these ever coming out. I mean, clearly I didn't watch them, but interesting. This is an interesting little period where we had all these videos. End of an era. Let's see here. But yeah, that's an option. What are some other Destiny videos? Because I think that there are some other ones that I watched that I think would be good. I honestly, I don't think the VOD is out for this one. Hassan High Senate VOD, because he cut out stuff when he actually posted the video. And I don't know if there's a way to retrieve the full VOD, but I would love to like to see like how from start to finish does he engage with this topic. I also was listening to Destiny yeah, I know, like Ethan in Hassan butt heads a little bit. I don't think we've quite mapped out the same way with Vosh and Destiny, like some of the recurring things that Hassan does in conversations, but the whole avoidance thing and some of the other little ticks that he has to kind of avoid things in a conversation or diffuse them. I think it would be fun to kind of map those out, and then I have them as like talking points when he comes up later, and then we can keep looking for them like a little Easter egg hunt. I think it would be fun to map that out, and this might be a good excuse to do it, to kind of go through some of the videos in that saga if it's not beat to death for you guys already. Did we vote already? No, I'm just kind of, adding these in here. Interesting. I mean, should we start counting votes? I think this is all fine. I'll add in here that we can the problem is I need to create some kind of link for you guys before the end of the stream that I could just post in the description of the YouTube, and then everybody will have the ability to kind of vote on it over time. That's kind of my idea here. But the other thing is, I don't care about votes so much as I do people voting with their dollars, because for this kind of like debate review stuff, like not so much this or this, I'll do these no matter what. Realistically, they shouldn't really be on here, but it's more so to start a conversation about them. But like for stuff like this or like this or like this, like that's gonna be prep and it's gonna be notes, and I'm gonna have to like take it seriously and be careful with what I say and yada yada yada, and that's less fun to me. So these are probably gonna be that I set like some donation thing on it, and then we'll do more fun stuff that I actually want to do, and these will be on the side as like a donation thing. And if we hit a goal for them, great, we'll do them. If we don't, it's no, skin off my back. I don't really care. And that's probably how we'll handle debate reviews. Like, unless I get a hair up my butt and all the stars align where like I do my prep in time to like get out with a review in a timely fashion and I ride that wave and whatever, these probably aren't happening without, the commissioners, I shall call them, making them happen, just because I don't really want to do them that way. They're a bunch of work. These are like legitimately work, which I'm okay with doing, and I do think it provides a good to you guys, but I'm definitely, especially after talking to more people like off stream, I do think it's fair to ask for funds on that. And if you really care and you're the kind of person that supports that, then that's awesome, and you're exactly the kind of person that I think can, make that content happen. But if you're somebody that, wants it for free, maybe you can bug those people. But otherwise, probably not. I don't know. Maybe remove the no/prep stuff from the money voting. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's take these two. Control X them. Yeah. Paid options, and that will be these. And then we have I probably don't even need to put those on there, honestly. I'll put we'll put it like that, and then we'll make this left align. Control V. Yeah, because no matter what, I do want to rant about UFOs, matter of fact, and I think that that's fun, and I don't think that Steven is very fun to listen to talk about UFOs, because he is just too rational-brained, I think, and so I am happy to provide that. Inevitably, we will have fun videos and stuff. I will keep doing this stuff, because this is fun, and I like fangirling out with other people that also enjoy it, or talking with skeptical people or whatever. I think that's fun. Same with like Japanese related and other videos. Like if I look at my watch later here, let's see here, Euro Maiden, like this. I would love to watch this with you guys. Like there's just so many videos in here that I think we could definitely go through, and the list is just like extensive. There's so much stuff in here. And some of it I've watched and I just keep in here because I think it would be good to go over. And others I just like, I kind of want to share it with people. So, there's lots in here, and I like all that stuff. Destiny Mr. Girl breakup discussion. Is that a thing? What is the title of that video? Certainly not exactly as you've worded it. I mean, maybe it is. I don't. Unless you mean like generally you want me to talk about it, in which case, no, not interested. I have flashbacks to Norway of me going through these, and they're not fun. So, yeah. Unless you want me to watch this, apparently I've never watched this before. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really know specifically what you mean. Like, there's so many of these that just like orbit the topic and whatever, and like I'm not uber interested. Destiny and Mr. Girl Bridge collapses is actually a pretty good one. Max is a dead meme at this point. I feel like the same way, but again, here's the thing. If Timmy decides that Timmy wants to put, like, let's say we say, oh, okay, well, for 100 we'll start the first, we'll at least watch an hour of this, and if people are not down for it, or like there isn't like continued momentum on it, then we won't continue with it. Like, I'm okay with doing that and not prepping and just like throwing it on and have it be like a little bit of a suffer thing for like an hour. I could handle that. That's totally fine. Like, and that's the thing that I want to make clear with a lot of these paid options, is these are things where, like, I know not all of you will want it. I know it might not be popular, but that's not really the point of any of these. The point of these is like, if you're one of the people that used to do the donations, like I think we have one guy in particular, like Brockman or something like that. For those people, if they want to do that, and it means that like I can fund like the airplane trip to go see my dog before he dies, or like I can treat my friends to a nice dinner, or I can replace my motorcycle because it's fucking busted. Like, I'm okay with making that trade-off between you guys and having that be the understanding. Like, I'm okay with those deals with the devil at the moment, and I'm kind of putting the feeler out there to see what devils exist and what deals do they want to make with me, because like I can dip a toe in the water and do an hour of this and then see what people want, and if people continue it, then they continue it. And I feel like that's Toka Coca. That's equivalent exchange in my mind. But yeah, I understand not everybody's gonna like it. I think your analysis of Mr. Girl's conversation style would get interesting. Yeah, maybe analyze old ContraPoints videos. Yeah, I can put that in here. But again, given this explanation, I do want to kind of narrow it to like, especially if you're watching the VOD, which is going to be the vast majority of you, put a comment down below with, if there was a donation drive for this thing, what would you want to see? What would you actually want to like pay to have a review of, or like pay to see my perspective on? Because a lot of this old stuff, like, unless they get a hair up my butt, which I probably won't about Mr. Girl unless he does something crazy in the near future, like, I'm not going to go back and watch this. I would never pick this. I would never pick a lab video. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't pick these things of my own free will. I will pick these things of my own free will. Let me figure out some more to put in the inevitable category maybe. But like, yeah, there's some things where I will definitely do them no matter what. And then there are things where like, like I'll put in here, because like when I watch debate and I start taking notes, like I did with that most recent one with the abortion debate, like I feel it. I know the stars are aligning, and I know that as long as I'm quick enough, it's gonna happen. And that doesn't need any like donation incentive or anything like that, unless like in hindsight, I probably should have let people pay to like continue watching it or whatever when I start losing steam and interest. But like, I'm motivated to go do that. I don't this is more for stuff where like I'm not motivated. I'm probably not going to do all the work that I need to do to go and do this. Like, I'm probably just going to watch these off stream, but like that's kind of the whole point of these options here, which I'll make this smaller so that I can fit more stuff in here. Let's make it 28, and let's make this one also 28 maybe. Although even that feels large, but I guess you guys will be the judge of that. Do a ranked league content. Okay. I mean, that would be the scariest of the bunch to include here, so I'm gonna put it at the bottom there. I guess I could put on here Mr. Girl stuff. I mean, again, this is a list not necessarily of stuff that I want to do, but stuff you guys might want to pay to do. I know there are people out there that pay for like everything Mr. Girl related, so if I'm being true to my heart, I should probably include it on the list, even though I foresee that actually going through and being a sufferfest. I'll also put suffer by this because that is probably going to be suffering. Man, it's been so long since I've even listened to anything Mr. Girl. Like, I just have vague, it's kind of like when you wake up from a nightmare and you don't remember like all the details of it. It's just like an impression. I have a very negative impression of these arcs. I think this took a toll on my mental, unironically. Yeah, I think those were all rough. Thank God that era is over. Holy shit. But yeah, I guess league content can be on there. May not be your thing, but I'd be curious to see your take on Actual Justice Warrior versus Sam Cedar. Okay. Let's see. I'll put that here. I guess we have this space to properly, and yeah, more ideas are definitely welcomed. I'll put all these on like a vote thing so you could go look at them all and whatever. And then as I stream and we do other stuff, what's going on? What I'm doing right now for anybody just joining is I'm kind of dividing things up into like, I'll inevitably cover this no matter what in this page, right? Like you're definitely going to see more UFO UAP stuff in the future. Like I'm already prepping it. You're definitely going to see more Japanese related or fun videos. You're going to have timely debate opinions. So like if I get a hair up my butt and I see something and I immediately want to comment, I'm trying to train myself more to turn that urge to like writing notes and talking with people offline into like go live, talk to people about it, and form an opinion with the community. So like you'll definitely get debate opinion stuff. It's more of like once in a blue moon when all the stars align. But all of these options, I'm trying to field from the audience, what are some things that you would actually pay for that I can put in like a vote, or I can put in like whatchamacallit, I can make donation goals for these and we could hit them. And so I'll put this out there and yeah, we'll kind of see. I have a feeling, and I am just going to put this in blue. This is going to happen no matter what. Regardless of any votes or whatever, Mr. Girl stuff is going to be on there just because I know people donate for it. I think people donate no matter what for Milo stuff, although I might be wrong there. I just know in the past with like heavy right-wing people, it seems like folks are really eager to just like pay to promote that stuff. And you know what? It's a moral gray area, but whatever. If Steven can do it, whatever. We're trying to figure out the future of content. That is kind of true. I think that this one I'll put up no matter what, because I do kind of want to do it because it just keeps developing. And I think we could do a whole thing where we go through all of this. You know what? Let me think. I think I'll prep this no matter what. We'll take a toe in the water for it. And then we'll have like a dono thing for continuing it, because I think I should cover that no matter what. At least a little bit. I should start it and have it in the title and watch it for a little bit, and then we should kind of continue on from there. So I think this will be on there no matter what. I'll go ahead and put that as well. So these are locked in, these three. I am personally interested in this one. So maybe that makes it on no matter what. This will make it on no matter what. Yeah, I guess. Well, we'll put all these on there, but I mean like yeah, how am I thinking about this? It's just already like there's so many things. There's so many things to go live with. It was such a backlog. Is there anything else? Let me think. Anything else? Trying to think. I don't know. What have I watched recently that I might want to return to? Um like this I have to be careful with how I pronounce this. Japan Analysis. I really like his channel and I learn a lot because I don't know about these memes and stuff every time I look at it. Like this one was a great video. I could definitely recommend it to anybody. This one was also a great video that I would never learn about. Like he does like crime analysis stuff and meme analysis stuff from Japan as somebody who speaks and reads Japanese. And so there's just a bunch of untapped content that like wouldn't make it to us English speakers if it wasn't for this guy. So like I really appreciate his channel and what he does. It's really interesting and we'll probably go through some of that stuff. I've also been playing a lot of The Forest lately. And when number 2 comes out, maybe we could get some streamers together to play it. I guess Supreme tried to do that before, but it kind of fell through with getting a bunch of streamers to hop on that game. This is a fucked up video. I wish I had animation friends that I could do this with. These Gardic phone videos are good. I should really stop watching these. I always click these because the thumbnails are so good and I think it's going to be some substantive thing. And usually by the end of it, it's kind of like beating your meat for 2 minutes and then nutting after you already have like 3 times today. It's just kind of tiring. And I feel bad at the end of it. Like, why did I just do that? That's uber specific. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. But like that is the closest feeling I could get to like watching these. There, I need to stop clicking on this. As a matter of fact, can I like not recommend this channel anymore? I think there's a way to do that. I'll figure it out later. Next time I see that in my feed, I'll kind of turn it off. Asianometry is another one where like the vibe is kind of like Rage Pope. Like if you like Rage Pope, I think you would like be able to handle the vibe of Asianometry, but it's really like good info. And I feel like the guy does his work to try to research what he talks about. It's been interesting seeing the LK99 thing fall apart. I feel like that's predictable, but I try to be positive when the dude that came on asked about it, just because, you know, it would be nice if it were true. Let's see, and a bunch of workout stuff here. More Japan analysis. Yeah, they tap up some good experts. Yeah, and their newsletter is also awesome if you pay for that. Although I doubt many of you are like big you know, newsletter people, but maybe. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to do. I would really. I'm gonna put it down here. I should write this down so that I remember, honestly. I think the ground news, and if you've never heard of this, I'll go ahead and bring it up here. Like, I need to just pay for this and do this with you guys. I think that this is a brilliant fucking idea. And if you never heard of it, they've been sponsoring a lot of YouTubers and stuff lately, especially in like the education space. Like, I think what they do with this, like evaluating of sources and giving you both sides of the thing and showing where the coverage is happening, so you know if like for instance, if your consumption of news is primarily through Twitter, maybe your Facebook stuff, and like, you know, these platforms that have algorithms, you're probably only going to engage with stories that have a really big left-leaning coverage of them, right? Or if you're a conservative person, it's going to have a lot of right-leaning coverage. And what you might miss are the stories that are like 80% left coverage. Or on the opposite side, you might miss the stories that are like 80% conservative coverage. Like, and the fact that it sorts them for you, kind of like a bit like a way more advanced Dredge Report, if you guys remember Dredge Report. Oh man, there was a period of time where I hated Reddit, and I hated Reddit people because in high school, the people that were Reddit people were like, and I'm sorry if you're watching this, Trent, but like, you guys were annoying. I hated Reddit people in high school. I had such a poor impression of Reddit just from like the people that liked Reddit who always talked about Reddit in school that I never ever looked at Reddit. But back then, it was popular. There was a connection between Reddit people and people that read the Drudge Report. And so, in a bit of like, fighting against the idea of going on Reddit, I used to check the Drudge Report all the time. And I like that there's clear arcs in my life with like where I get information from. Like Drudge Report was big. I used Yahoo News for a while. How are they now? Like, because on our home computer when I was way younger, like middle school, like Yahoo was our homepage, and I love the Yahoo News stories. I would spend hours just like going down rabbit holes. I wonder if you still can. If I click on this, will it give me more stories? I guess kind of. You can just keep scrolling. But like it used to be that you have a bunch of clickable stories on the side or whatever, and they were all clickbaited so well that like before I was like a really big YouTube fiend, I would be a Yahoo News fiend. I would just go down rabbit holes of like clicking on Yahoo News articles for like forever and a half. I also used to be really big into TMZ. Like my parents would watch TMZ every night, and so I would watch it with them. Like, and that was a lot of like my news consumption. Before this, every morning we would have like the news on the TV on, and when we got home from school, I would often either watch like Cartoon Network or we would put like the news channel on. And that would like, I've always consumed news, even as like a little kid. And I used to think it was cool. I've kind of strayed away from like reading proper articles and stuff, partly because a lot of it's like, ad blocked or paywalled or whatever. So it's kind of harder to read all this stuff I would like to read. But I think maybe going into streaming, especially here, I'll put this down. I think it would be cool if we could get basic funding every month for like some of the paywall access to like New York Times or WAPO. Here, I'll put that in here. WAPO. Like I think like I want to leverage streaming to like get rid of paywalls. Like and if you guys would be interested, I would love to open the shows with like, hey, so with the New York Times thing that you guys paid for on Patreon or whatever, we're gonna read like my favorite article that I've seen the last few days that I've been offline or whatever, and just like picking those out and having that in the rotation of just like inevitable content that I do no matter what. I think that would be fun. Like we start to see here, I have enough to kind of like have an ongoing, like no matter what, even if we don't have some like commission thing to cover, we have some coverage that I could do while having those donation goals on the screen. And I think that's kind of the form that I want the stream to take on for this little arc. I don't know how long this arc will last, but like there's things in life I need to pay for, and I think maybe, not dipping my toes, but kind of wading out to my waist in the water of like, streaming regularly. I think this is what I'd like to do. Cause like I can prep this stuff in my spare time and make little UFO reports and like pick a topic and go through different sources and like Reddit comments and 4chan stuff and whatever for UFO stuff. I can definitely keep setting aside videos that I find are fun or that I put aside that I want to watch with you guys. I can read ground news every single day and like New York Times and WAPO and do that. Hold on, I gotta log back into this. Hey, Mac people in the chat, can you help me? I put in my power settings that I don't want the Mac to ever go to sleep, but it still does. And when I went in my security settings and like looked for like the logout feature, it's grayed out like I don't have it on already. But like it's still logging me out. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's kind of like high key annoying. So if anybody in the chat is a Mac user, I'm definitely not. It would be helpful to have that. Guys, if you pay for my Netflix, we'll watch The Truman Show on Kick. I don't want to take advantage of Kick too much there. But yeah, it's funny. Because Reddit people are everyone. Yeah, nowadays, but back then it was, at least where I lived, it was way more niche. Like there were Reddit people, and then there were like YouTube people. Like there was a lot of YouTube people that watched like PewDiePie and you know, all the gamer people, like the Minecraft YouTubers were popular when I was in high school. Skit channels were definitely way more popular, although waning even at that point. When I was in elementary and middle school, skit channels were huge, like Smosh and Nigahiga and that kind of stuff. So I've always been like a YouTube boy and probably like a Yahoo News boy and the news in general. And those are my two main things. Nowadays, I always check Reddit, like first thing in the morning. Here's an anxiety that I have, and let me know if you guys share this with me. I have an anxiety every day that nuclear war could start, or there's some giant pandemic, kind of like in Station whatever. What is it? Station 11? Yeah. If you've never watched Station 11, don't. It's not worth it. It's shit. But 60%. But like in Station 11, what happens is there's this kind of like apocalyptic sort of like pandemic where everybody gets like a cold and starts coughing and they cough until they die or whatever. And if you were in the know and you're paying attention to the news, maybe you could have avoided like the initial wave of it and like lived. Like if you boarded yourself up for long enough, all the people will die out and then you'll kind of be okay. I have an anxiety about this stuff. So every day when I check Reddit, I go into the news to see if I can like catch the inklings of something like that and avoid it and just lock myself in my house and whatever, or like order Amazon Prime before it goes out of service and whatever. I worry about that stuff quite a bit just because I'm so isolated in the house. And yeah, it's probably not the most healthy thing, but I do have that a little bit. Tim Cook knows best. He's just looking out for your security. Yeah, I hate that. Please don't, Tim Cook. That's an unhealthy level of paranoia, bro. I mean, it's more of like a gnawing thing in the back of my brain that is an impulse that leads me to check that stuff on Reddit, but I would probably check Reddit no matter what. But I do keep that in mind because, like, you know, in the event that I don't check it and then I go outside and I get sick and I die, I would have wanted past me to be a little bit more attentive. Another one is what is this show called? Bite Me. Has anybody ever seen Bite Me? This shit's old, 2010 to 2012. Like in Bite Me, this kind of happens as well. Like I think that if anything like this ever happens, like zombies or something, it'll probably happen really, really quick and like sweep through. And if you're paying attention, maybe you'll be kind of more okay than other people. But I don't want it to kind of take me unawares. I think that would be even Shaun of the Dead. I feel like most zombie shows have this kind of premise where like, you know, paying attention to it or picking it up early is probably going to save you from it, and the people that don't kind of get swept up in it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a little thing I can do every day that will be my insurance against the apocalypse, you know? Listen, I may or may not be planning to build a small grid independent house with some lovely raised gardens and a greenhouse. Don't share that online. People will remember that and they'll come after you, Bells. I think that's like a big tip for preppers and stuff is you're really not supposed to tell other people that you're doing it. Like my uncle is hardcore into like prepping and doomsday stuff. Like When he started getting into it, like my dad and him had like a plan of like where we meet on the map, and they had maps, and we had survival kits, and we had like enough food and water for the trip, and we had a plan with what we'd do if the roads closed. Like we had a bunch of plans in place and where we would meet and all that stuff. And like a big part of that is keeping it secret. You like it's kind of like having a gun. Like if you're really serious about self-defense and whatever, you probably shouldn't make it obvious to everybody else that you have a gun in your house or whatever. Like there are certain things where like there's no point to telling other people aside from like fucking yourself with it. So I would keep it to myself. If you'd make it to me, I'll let you in, but don't bring anyone else unless they're super hot. Okay. Well, that limits a lot. I don't think I have a lot of super hot friends. Bro, I think about those things almost near to zero. Okay. Well, I mean, it's in my brain a little bit. Damn, I thought half the thing was people knowing you had it and not to try shit. I guess, yeah. I don't believe that though. Like, yeah, I don't know. Unless you're friends with a bunch of like meth heads and coke fiends, I don't think. And even if you are, I don't know if that dissuades them so much as it makes them prepare for like a shootout with you and bring a gun to a robbery and whatever. I don't know. I just see it as having more negatives than positives, giving that info out to people. And I read in a lot of forums that that's like general advice. Like I wouldn't tell you guys if I have a gun in the house, but you know, it's just me. The other thing is like I think no matter what, people shouldn't know where you have the gun in your house. Like I feel like that's not debatable. Even if you tell people that you have a gun in the house, you should probably never ever tell anybody where it is. Like it, you know, we have rules about like you don't tell anybody where the gun is at our house, and that's something my family follows. So maybe it's just been ingrained in me or whatever. Yeah, they want to take it. Yeah, I mean, maybe that. Knowing where the gun is a no-brainer. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it's only half a step removed from knowing you have the gun in general, but I can see the other side of the argument there for sure. I just personally would follow not even telling people I have the gun. It's probably smarter. Plus, at least in most of the situations where I would tell a random person that I have a gun, like in dating or hookups or whatever, it's probably not a smart thing to share with people. They either take it really, really well or they take it really, really negatively. So I just in general avoid the conversation altogether. But if the internet goes down, I'm just gonna play Sudoku. Yeah, you'll patiently wait in your apartment for them to come and kill you. That's nice. Yeah. Man, this show was so good. Only 2 seasons. That's unfortunate. What did it get nominated for? Oh, a streaming outcard. I should have won that. It was really good. Um, best male performance in a comedy, best visual effects in a web series. I mean, for the time, yeah, it was kind of a big production. Man, I miss this era. There used to be so many like good high quality productions from like Machinima and other people back then. Or like not Corridor Digital, but like Rocket Jump, I think it was their name, with Freddie Wong. Those were good videos. I totally don't watch them anymore. When I do watch a Corridor Digital video, I am surprised at like how much work they put into it. Let's see. Yeah, their anime AI thing was pretty good. Oh, they made another one. Um, all these videos are actually really, really good. I'm surprised. Oh, I guess they do get millions of views. They deserve it. But yeah. So many good videos from that channel. I should honestly watch it more. I should improve the quality of the things I consume on YouTube. Like, let's see what's in my For You page. Okay, streams, China stuff because I've been watching a lot of China stuff lately. Japan stuff because I'm watching a lot of Japan stuff lately. Real life lore because all the history stuff I've been watching, all that makes sense. This guy's videos probably shouldn't consume them. Sometimes they have misinformation in them that I have to like later figure out is misinformation by people that give a shit a little bit more. Shouldn't watch these, honestly, probably. Uh let's see. these are generally cool and good. I think these like outline a war and like actually have, no, it isn't the channel that actually puts the things on the board. I like the military history channels that like lay out the units and like walk through. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Oh, the operations room. That's the channel. I think they do a good job. Yeah, I love this. Like the visualization of things that I read in books is really helpful. Like honestly, when I'm reading the books, if I return back to reading military history stuff, I'll probably combine them with this just so that I have a visual representation in my brain of what's going on as I'm reading it, especially for naval warfare stuff. Like if you ever read like an equivalent to like a line by line, minute by minute breakdown of like what's happening at Midway, there's so many boats and there's so much going on and so many like aircraft that it is really difficult in my opinion to follow. Maybe I'm just reading the wrong stuff, but like the closer you get to like the raw info of the battle minute by minute, the more difficult it is to like understand what's going on. But I maybe coupled with these, it would be more digestible. What are we voting on? So basically, I'm trying to figure out what are some like options for debates or reviews that you think that people would pay for. Like if I made a dono goal, which videos do you think we'd hit it for? I've kind of highlighted in this color ones that I'll probably put up as a dono goal no matter what, either because I'm personally interested or because I suspect that there are people that would donate for it. Like people seem to hardcore donate for Mr. Girl stuff, so that'll probably be on there, although it's a suffer stream. Milo stuff, there are a bunch of right-wing people that pay for stuff. This XQC Ethan Klein debate is the gift that keeps on giving, so that'll probably be worthwhile to just like dip my toes into and maybe have a dono goal to like continue watching it or something like that. Because there's the Twitter stuff, there's the actual debate, there's the aftermath with Hassan in 2 separate VODs. Like there's a lot there and it'll probably keep on coming. There's also people like Mudahar arguing with Destiny about it, which I think from the comments are less interesting, but still could be on the list. I do feel that like with something like UFOs or something like the React meta discussions, Steven doesn't really seem interested in talking about them, and he seems really disinterested in the topic more generally. So you probably won't get a lot out of watching him talk about them, but I could have fun with it and I could give it a lot more effort. And so I think that's probably a good place to like step in and provide content for. If for no other reason, then it would be more entertaining probably than watching Destiny, but it's just my opinion. If you're serious about owning a gun in self-defense, you should probably keep it loaded and in your hand while you sleep. Oh, that's dumb. My internet goes out. I just get trapped in a cycle of I'm bored. I'll check the internet. Oh, write it down, repeat. Yeah. I mean, that's assuming you have all the electricity and stuff, right? Like, I don't know. Let's see here. But yeah. Okay, so there's all this stuff. What else should I put on this list? Let me look more at my history again. Now it's polluted with all this randomness. I think some Anton Petrov videos would probably be good to put in the rotation. New York Times has some good op docs. This is not one of them, but those would be good to cover. I think I already have them listed. If I had a lethal weapon, I'd probably end up dropping it and shooting my foot. Maybe guns are not for you. This was a good listen, the Colossus of Rhodes. Like, you know how with the Colossus of Rhodes, which is that giant statue that's in the little gateway into whatever the sea is called, the Mediterranean or whatever. This picture, or the picture of him with feet on both of the pillars of Hercules or whatever the fuck they're called, is not accurate, and we don't have a good idea of what he looked like beyond his face, because his face was on coinage and stuff, so we kind of have an idea of that, but what it actually looked like, we don't. Or like where it was exactly positioned, we don't. Like, I didn't know about any of that. I love my history channels for that. And just anybody that takes the time to like compile a lot of different sources on something to kind of explain it, I tend to enjoy those kinds of videos. let's see here. Yeah, some of these are fun. I went down a little rabbit hole with the Silmarillion hypothesis here. These videos tend to be bad. I don't know why I watch them. Everything from Mr. Beat is pretty good as well. It's my kind of content. If you've never heard of him, he's I believe he's a U.S. history teacher that makes videos online about U.S. history. His videos tend to be pretty good and fun and like to the point and quick. And he covers a lot of Supreme Court cases that are big and important, and I think all that's cool. In a different life, I probably would have been like a U.S. history teacher. I think that would have been fun. Every U.S. history teacher or politics teacher I've had has been cool. Same with econ and psych. If you teach like AP Psych in high school, you're probably a cool person. But yeah, his videos tend to be pretty good. Let's see. Okay, I gotta stop exiting my history tab. Fuck, I have to scroll through all these again. That's so fucking lame. Man, and they load so slowly. Oh, all my Xiaoma stuff. Oh, my Xiaoma videos. They're so good. They're so good, but they're like unhealthy. I probably shouldn't watch as many as I do. Asianometry is like my vegetables. Oh, Solar Sands, I think, is another good video on
to its meaning.
Oh, this is the art history dude. Who's the dude? Let me find this other super dude. This guy makes amazing videos about video games. If you've never heard of Super Dude, or I guess his name is Super Dude 10,000 on YouTube, and you like video games, or like you're like a Steam fiend and you download a bunch of like Steam games, I would suggest looking at some of this person's work. Like their video on knowledge-based games is really, really good. Their videos on Prey are really, really good. Like, oh man, they don't have many, but like they're such high quality and they clearly did a bunch of research. And I think the way that they like break down and give you like a long list of games and like strike a balance between like explaining the gameplay and maybe like the first hour loop, but like not giving you all of the spoilers for the video game. And like I feel like they hit a balance in every regard that I find very tantalizing. So I still got to work my way through the queue of their videos, but it's pretty good. Hey Bookfucker, glad you're back. We missed you. What are you going to do today? Would love to see you suffer through the Mr. Girl stuff or the Milo debate. Well, it's good to know. I mean, that'll end up in our donation drive probably. I'll put here's another thing. Actually, I'll put this in here. Let me move my mouse so my Mac doesn't shut down. I think with my level of coding, I could very easily like start hosting things on the booksmarts.gg website because I own the domain. I can probably start coding some basic stream tools that are things that I would make in Paint or whatever, and I could probably stream the coding of those and then get help from people and maybe start connecting with some comp sci people better. Like I want to make like what IRI has. I'm really important. He has like this thing that will parse through donation messages and bits messages, and it'll look for keywords and it will add or subtract votes to something relative to the amount of money that people are sending in. And if you're a longtime viewer, you know I do that manually when we have like votes for suffer streams on like whether they continue or not. But I also want to have people that have recurring subscriptions to the channel or who are Patreon members to also be able to vote in those, and I probably weight them somewhat. There's a bunch of streaming tools I want to have that, technically speaking, I see the path forward on how to do it, and I could figure it out. And I could probably make content out of it while doing that, and then kind of like keep some of my like coding skills honed a little bit and play with technologies a little bit more, and then maybe I'd have some items for a resume, or at the very least I'd be able to have some activity on my GitHub. So I think that's something I'll work on. As far as making those stream tools available to other people, therein lies the issue where, like, if I make an admin interface, I kind of don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I should be the only one looking at it. But if they catch on and there's a bunch of attention for it, maybe I do that as well. And just open source it, make it available to everybody. That's another thing that I should probably start incorporating into streams no matter what. But yeah, so far this is the list of stuff. If you have any other ideas, anybody listening to this, even in the future in a VOD, leave it in a comment down below on what's the sort of thing you'd like to donate to see more of on the channel, or what do you want to see covered, and I'll add it to the list and we'll kind of have this going over time. XUC did a debate. Lol. I wonder if they had too many energy drinks. Apparently, he did really, really bad. Yeah, other people are saying that in the chat. I've yet to watch it because I do want to save it for stream. That'll probably be one of our next streams. I won't do it today because I'm really not feeling up for it. I kind of just wanted to get these items down and introduce the concepts to you guys and give the VOD people a little bit of time to comment about that and get their feedback. And then, I'll prep a little, a little thing in my virtual whiteboard to kind of keep track of the way votes are going and stuff. I'll probably just use Draw.io, honestly, for that kind of stuff. How would I do that? Let's see. So if I have this, and then maybe I have like one of these, and then I Control-C, Control-V, let's make this yellow maybe. I love this program, by the way, draw.io. When I worked at my last company, I used it for a lot of like explainers and stuff. Oh, I can make this. I could change the opacity on this probably. Yeah, I won't right now, but actually, let's send this to the front and then... Oh yeah, we could definitely do it. And it has like a good little grid indicator. So we could have this be our dono thing from now on. And then I could have something up at the top that says like what it is or what the amounts are. I think this would probably be better than drawing it in paint. And then I could slowly drag this along. But yeah, if I'm able to code something that does this, it'd probably be better. And it would be fun. It would give me an excuse to bust out, Visual Studio and start working on stuff again, and it'll fill my GitHub up. But yeah, this would probably be the way that I would do it. Yeah, interesting. And then we could have this on either side and maybe have this one be red. And this will be like the votes against it. And then whoever gets to the other side first maybe wins, and I could lower the opacity so that they overlap. Yo, that could work, honestly. I like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm beginning to see how we would make this in Draw.io. But yeah, okay. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll prep that for the next stream, and I'll have a few of our more popular options out, and then we could do that. I don't want to split the vote too much for people. I'll probably try to stick to like maybe 3 options. But yeah, okay. So that's how I'll do that. Yeah, good to know. Discard. Oh, okay. Oh, I think I have everything that I need to have prepped and figured out. So I'll get to work making that stuff for you guys, and I'll prep some basic points about this XQC Ethan Klein debate thing, and we'll do that. FYI, I'm listening, but I'm cooking, so yell if anyone says nasty things I need to remove. Oh, believe me, I will be yelling. But so far, everybody's been pretty chill, even kick people. So that's good. Okay. I think I have what I need. I think we might be good to close the stream for today. But that's what I wanted to do. I want to introduce this concept to you guys, talk a little bit about, the return to that sort of content form and in way of like commissioning stuff. I'll probably also open the Patreon back up again, and just it's just so much work. Like But I'll probably try to open the Patreon back up again and maybe have that tied to all the subscriptions and stuff involved with streaming. Like, definitely Restream will be like the early thing, and then maybe New York Times, WAPO, a bunch of the subscriptions that I would need. And yeah, and then we could start plugging that content in. Granted, Patreon update has been something on my to-do list for so long that I never do, but maybe today I'll just knock that out. Okay. Well, that's the stream, everybody. I know there was nothing like debate reviewy or whatever, but it's not like I baited you with a title. These are some of the ideas that we have. So the XQC Ethan Klein debate, Ryan Dawson v. Destiny on Fresh and Fit, finish the abortion debate that we were looking at with Trent Horn, the professor in Destiny. Go back into that Mr. Girl video about the proper bridge burning. Destiny versus Milo, which is an old one, but a lot of right-wing people would probably want it. Actual Justice Warrior v. Sam Cedar, old ContraPoints videos, and League content. And then what's inevitable, which you'll see no matter what, it's not going to be paywalled or anything, is you'll definitely see more UFO stuff because people liked it and I like it, and that's easy to prep for because it's fun. Definitely more Japanese related stuff and other fun videos I find on YouTube. I'll still do debate opinions if I can get them out in time and all the stars align for that. I want to get a subscription to Ground News and maybe start plugging in some like New York Times, WAPO, MSM stuff into the stream, and then maybe some coding, a little bit of coding streams for stream tools I want that I see myself reusing quite a bit. If you're interested in helping with the coding stuff, I know several of you were working on booksmarts.twitch before I got my job. Let me know, and we could collaborate on that. I know a few of you might have time on your hands, given job situations in the market and stuff, and maybe we could work together on that. Coding streams might be interesting. Yeah, I mean, we've never done it before, so it might be something worth going for. The Sam Cedar one sucked. Interesting. Well, somebody mentioned it, so I put it on there. But yeah, that is the stream. Thank you for hanging out. Again, leave comments down below if you're a VOD watcher, and I will read them. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Probably tomorrow. I'll have some stuff prepped and then I'll do that. Let's see. Tomorrow is a Saturday. Okay. And I got to buy my plane tickets, probably for very early in the week, maybe like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday or something. And maybe when I'm at my mom's house, if the internet is good enough, I'll try to get a stream or two in. But before that, I'm going to try to marathon stuff and maybe wake up, pour my coffee, go live, start getting these things in. And yeah. Anywho, see y'all later. Have a good one. I will talk to you all later.